Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a video on how I edit my Instagram photos on my health and fitness account Scafty Bites. So basically I'm going to be sharing with you guys my 4 most important tips to editing your photos. So the 4 tips are to get good lighting, to have good props, to have a good editing app, and to also have a good camera. So basically, when it comes to your lighting in your photos, I always try to get natural light. So it's a bit hard because it does get earlier here now because of daylight savings. So basically I have to go next to a window in like the afternoon, and I have to try and get a photo before it gets dark, which can get really hard, especially when it comes to dinner. But the quality of the picture just changes so much if you get natural light. So find a big window or just any sort of window, or even just go outside and take your photo outside. I like to use the big reflector so that it bounces the light off of the window onto your food, and then it makes the photo a lot brighter, which can help a lot. And if it is too sunny, we also have a diffuser that I can put against the window if the light is too harsh, and then it just makes the photo look so much better because the quality looks nicer. Anyway, so for my second tip, it's to have a good editing app. I cannot describe to you how bad it is if you do not edit your photos. I mean, that sounds so bad, but my Instagram account went from looking like this to looking like this. Come on, like, you need to tell me that afterwards, when I actually edited them on a proper app, it looked good. At the start, I was just putting like a random filter on Visco on every single photo, but in my opinion, it wasn't the best. But once I started editing it on Lightroom, which is the app I'm going to tell you about, they looked 100 times better. Like, I can't explain to you how much better it looked. My third tip is to get a good camera. The camera that I use is this Canon, and I find it works really well. Can get a bit annoying because I'd rather just take it on a phone, but I can also show you the quality difference from my photos taken on a camera to my photos taken on my phone. And I definitely recommend that you use a camera, or sometimes I can let you know, sometimes I do use my mum's iPhone X something, because now the newest iPhone has actually really good camera quality, and when I'm lazy and don't feel like going upstairs to grab my camera, I just use her phone, which is really easy to use. So if you're just starting off, that could be a really good start for you, because you don't really want to go out and buy a camera if you're not actually going to get serious into your account. So I do recommend having a good quality camera or phone to take your photos on, because it makes so much difference. And this is one of the most important steps. It's to have good props. And I know it's hard, like, I can get really lazy, and I'm not the most creative person, so I'm not good at like setting out my props and stuff, except if you do go out and buy good props, you can just get cheap ones. Like, I know Bunnings even sell plates and they're really cheap, or go to Target, they'll have cheap plates, or you could go to David Jones if you're in Australia, and they have really good plates. If you buy like some nice sets of cutleries, they also look good. And little bowls in the backgrounds, they also look really good. So this is my setup I have here, and it's right next to a bright window. And if it ever is too bright, you can get like a diffuser and then put it up against the window, which I sometimes do. Or if it's too dark, you can get like a brightness where the light bounces off of the window onto there and then comes back onto your food, which always could work as well. Then here are like the bowls and like plates that I use. So I've got like little bowls, small bowls, and plates, different colors for every different photo. I will like use these in like the background of a photo. I'll like use used this and I still have chili flakes in it from my last photo. Oopsies. Use like a board maybe in the background, and sometimes I even use this like plant and I put it in the corner and then I can take a photo there. Because I'm not the most creative person and I don't like sprinkle flowers or petals all over the photo, or you know, some like really good photographers who like really go all out with their photos and have really good decorations. I'm not that creative, so I know where you guys can struggle with this. Like, I struggle all the time. So what I like to do, my hack for you guys, is to get like a little bowl in the background and just put, like, say you've got chili flakes in your meal, put chili flakes in there. If you have nuts, put some nuts in the little bowl. Or if you have nuts in your meal, sprinkle nuts in the background. Like, it's kind of simple things like that by getting some food, like, if you have like little garnishes for your food, it makes it look so much better. So I recommend doing that. And another thing with my props is that I did go to a warehouse and I got two, what are they called? I forgot what they're called, like just pieces of wood, and I painted them white. I like to use white because, in my opinion, when you have an account, I feel like you need to have that main colour that is in like nearly every photo, so that your food, so that it brings out the colour in your food. So I choose to have like a white main colour because I feel like it brings out the colour a lot more because it just shows all your colours, and then it also makes your page look really aesthetic throughout. So I recommend doing that. Okay, so that's why I got my two white panels of wood. I don't know what you call them again, which you can easily get at any warehouse or like Bunnings or something. That's what we have in Australia. I don't know what people in America would go to, but it's pretty easy. Just get like wood and you can paint it any color you want. Just try to keep like a main color throughout your account. I definitely recommend using white. Okay, so here I've got what I've like made for lunch, and I've put like little props around, so well, food. Got like a little bowl, I've got some avocado, I've got some chopsticks and a little bowl of sauce, which I always love doing, having little bowls and putting stuff in them. Like, for example, I could get a little bowl and put chili flakes in. I also have this board that I took some photos on, and I'm just going to test around to see which one looks best. You can always get the sauce as well, which might look good in the photo, but it's like half empty, so probably not. So I've got two white boards next to the window because the window gives really good natural lighting, and yeah, so this is what I'm having for lunch anyway. So I've got some rice paper rolls, and yeah. Okay, so my camera's nearly about to go flat, but I'm going to show you guys how I edit my photo. So this is the photo before, and obviously it doesn't look good. So what I like to do is I like to bring out the exposure of my photo a lot, because I feel like the brighter the picture, the better it looks, like the food. So I bring that up, and then, oh, maybe a little bit more. I know that looks like a lot for now, but it won't be. I like to bring the contrast a little bit down because it makes the photo a little bit more white. Then highlights, it really depends. I'll bring it down for this photo, and I'll bring the shadows up. Shadows always go up in my opinion. And whites, I like to bring out the white like I said. And then the darks, I'll do a little bit of blacks. Then I go to color, and I always change the vibrance. And I always change the saturation, but not too much saturation. Okay. Now I'm going to change the colors. This is like the most important part. So just go up to the top corner and press mix, and then you get to the colors. And this part really depends on what colors you have in your photo, because you're basically just making one color stand out more than the other. So because I've got tomatoes and they're red, I'll do the red. And I normally bring it down a little bit, bring the saturation up, And I'll bring the luminance up a bit. Then it comes to sweet potatoes are orange, so I'll do orange as well. I'll bring the luminance a little bit down and the colour a little bit up, or no, I'll bring the luminance up this time. And now I like, because I don't have any yellow, or I do have a lemon, I'll just bring the yellow a little bit down because it makes the photo more white, because if like you've got any cream on the white in the back, it just looks weird. Now, because I've got broccoli and cucumber and a plant, I'll bring the greens up so they look more green. And then that looks good. I don't have any blue on my photo. I skip the light blue and I always go to the dark blue. I don't know why. I just feel like the light blue doesn't do anything. But I'll bring the blue all the way down because that also makes it more white, just in case it looks bluish in the background. And then that is about all I do. Actually, yeah. And then I go to the effects, and this is also important. I like to bring the texture up on most foods, and then the clarity a tiny bit up. I didn't bring it up, did I? There we are. Dehaze to around about 3. And then I'll go on sharpening and I'll bring it all the way to like, that seems like a lot, but it just makes the food stand out a lot more, as you can see. And then I'll go to the optics and I'll just press that. Don't know why I do that. I feel like it just looks more professional. And then that's about it. And we can look at the difference that it looks like now compared to the start. That's it. Fuck. So this is after and this is before. And you can see there's a big difference. If the photo's a little bit too bright, I'll bring it down a tiny bit. And then I'll also make, and I think that looks good. Anyway, I hope that helps with your editing. You can probably do this on another app. It's not the cheapest, but I found that it's really good at editing your photos, and I also use it for my other Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed. You can check the description box below and you can look at my account, you can get inspiration. I'll also leave up here some accounts I like to look at, and you can also look, if you want, at my main account on Instagram, which is just like day-to-day like fashion pictures. I've also filmed a video on how I edit my photos on that, and I hope you guys enjoy.
My friends are out drinking us dry, staying up till 7, still on a buzz. I wanna taste the